Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. Thank you for dropping by. This is the project I have to share with you today. It's these lovely little votive candles here, and you can fit three of them in this little box, and it has a see-through side so you can see that. And I should say this is going to be my last project of the year. I don't usually put anything up between Christmas and New Year. So I hope you're going to have a lovely Christmas and New Year. And this will be a lovely little gift if you're looking for a last minute way to package up some beautiful candles. So let me show you how I made it. This one uses Pretty Peacock as the top and Lost Lagoon as the base. And then I've used this beautiful copper oxidized paper to decorate it. I'm going to do a slightly different version this time. Got Pretty Peacock this time as our base. And this piece here measures 9¼ inches by 5¾ inches, and we're going to score at 2 inches on all sides. Now don't worry about trying to write down all the measurements, they'll all be on the blog post on my website, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. So there we have it, 2 inches on all sides. It's really simple. Then we have our lid, and our lid this time is Lost Lagoon. The measurements here are a little funny. They are 7 5/16 by 3 13/16, and we are going to score at 1 inch on all sides. As I said, you'll find all the measurements on the blog post, so don't worry about that. There we go. And that's all the scoring we need to do. Done and dusted. So get rid of the scoring board. Okay, now I'm just going to move my, my grid paper out the way for now. There we go. So I want to bring in my piece here because I want to make my window. Now if you've got a long thin die, you can just do that with the die, and that's fine. I'm going to show you how to do it manually. And I've got here my ruler and a pencil. Very basic. And I'm basically going to leave a 1/2 inch border around our around our window, I should say. So let's see. So we want to go in about 1/2 inch. So let's do it from this side. Going to measure 1/2 inch from the score line. And before I start, remember to always do it on the reverse side. No one will see it there. You can also rub it out. So there we've got 1/2 inch. I'm going to do 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from this side. And this is just going to create our window. So now I'm just going to old-fashioned way of joining up the dots. Trying to see if I can see my pencil marks. It's always useful. And there I can see, even if you can't see on the camera, maybe you can there, my little window. So I need to cut that out now. And do this various ways. I'm just going to do it with my scissors and my ruler. Just go gently. I find it easier to do it a few times than going really hard. Struggling to see my lines. And there you see, and you're just going to go around the whole thing like that. Okay, so I have cut out my hole, as you can see, my window. Now I want to cut a little, as you can see here, a little frame. So I have a piece of Lost Lagoon, and this measures 5 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And all I'm going to do is place this on the front where I think it's going to look centered. which is roughly about there. Turn it over, sort of holding it in this place, and then I'm just going to use my pencil just to go around the outside, and that should give me my window, which should be exactly right. So you can always double check it if you want. It looks right. That's going to be your front, as you can see. Turn it over. I think I'd rather have it, change my mind where I want it positioned. Okay, and then you're just going to cut that out, and again you can just go in with your scissors, your ruler. I'm going to live on dangerously and just follow the line with my craft knife. Okay, so I cut it out and I stuck it down. So now we can do some good old-fashioned box making, and we're going to fold on all our school lines with our bone folder, something we used to, same as normal. You're just going to fold all of these school lines like that, very easy to do. And then you're going to do the same here for your lid. Fold and burnish all those school lines. Lovely. So now it's time to do a little bit of cutting. And with your box, this time in your vertical position, you're going to cut up to the score line and along the score line. Just like that. And then we're going to miter these two outside taps, so we're going to just cut off there at a little angle. You can see what I've cut, and do the same on the other side of the tab. And then you're going to shorten the tab by about half, it doesn't have to be exact. Do the same for the other outside tabs, tab rather. Cut off at an angle like that, and we'll do the same on the other side. So cut along the score line to the score line, along the score line to the score line, and just like that. Okay, so get rid of these pieces. I'm going to work on our lid quickly, and here we're going to have it rather in the vertical position, in the horizontal position is easier. I would have done the same way on my base, except as these tabs fold in, they would have obscured my window. So we've just released these 4 tabs, as you can see, and then we're just going to do the same miter cut, but we don't need to chop off anything off this tab. We're just going to miter them. We only chopped off on the other one because we're having to fold them in a small area, and we don't want to increase the bulk where we don't need to. Okay, so last one, I'm going to miter cut it, same as you've done for every other tab. Okay, get rid of that. Time to stick some acetate on the back here, and for this I'm going to use just some tear and tape because I think it's going to be the easiest. I'm just going to put some around my window here. I think glue will splodge out, So tear and tape will do the job fine. There we go. Give that a burnish with your fingers or your bone folder, and take the backings off. There we go. Get rid of this before it gets in the way. Going to need a little bit of our window sheet or acetate that's going to fit the size of our little window here. So see if that will be enough. Yep, that's enough. Stick that down on the one side. Now you can put a piece if you want to cover it on the inside, but no one's going to see that really. Okay, and we're ready to stick down our designer series paper, which this time is going to be the Snowflake Magic. And I'm going to use some seal for speed, nothing else. Also was the first thing I grabbed. And just going to put this in the center. And all the measurements, as I said before, are on the blog post. If you do make this project, I'd love to see what you'll make, your makes and takes. And you can always share your designs in my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. And I host fortnightly challenges, and we can also share our projects and inspire each other. So do check that out. So there we have those pieces. And now let's do these longer pieces on the side. And I do love the Snowflake Magic because it's lovely foiling, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then last but not least is the side. And we're just going to put that down like that. And now it's time to build everything. Switch to Tombow because it's easier, to give me a little wriggle room. And put glue on all of these tabs. Then you're going to fold your tab in, bring it to meet the base here, and make sure your corners are nicely squared off. So fold your tab in to meet the other wall. Bring it down and make sure everything is really nicely squared off, and pinch. So bring it in, make sure everything's squared off as much as you can. Just do it by eye, you don't have to get any fancy instruments out. Just our eyes can be very good at telling us when something looks wonky or straight, so trust them. Okay, got a piece of window sheet there. I'm going to do the same for our base. I'm going to put some glue on these outer tabs. I'm going to do exactly the same thing as before. We're going to tuck them in to meet the side wall. And there's one. You can see here why we chopped off our tabs on this one, so we could reduce the bulk going across our sides. I'm going to do the same here, fold these in, and do both together, and just make sure everything is nicely squared off. This is why I suggested to use Tombow or wet glue, because it'll give you some wriggle room. Okay. And then you can put your lid on. Well, actually first let me take out my little Votives from here and show you how they look and that they fit. See? Lovely. And then we need to get the right lid, and then we're just going to put our lid on. Put our lid on there. It's nicely fits, and you can still see your little votives there. Isn't that cute? Sorry about the glare. You can see here with this one. There we go. So those are the two types. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping to finish off. Ink pad is Pretty Peacock. Going to stamp Merry Christmas. And that's going to be from this set, Celebrate with Tags. I'll clear the decks a little bit so we have a bit of space here. I'm going to, whoops, make sure this is obviously stuck to your block. Ink this up nicely. Tap, tap, tap. Down. Hold so it can absorb into the paper. Lovely. Close this up. Now while that's drying just a tad, I'm going to bring in my ribbon, and this is Lost Lagoon. And this is the same colour as the base, not the base, the lid that we've just made. I'm not the best at bows, and I'm always annoyed if I waste too much ribbon, so I end up always making life more difficult for myself. Is anyone else like that? They're so determined not to waste it that you spend ages struggling instead. Can't be the only person who does that. Okay, so glue dots. Don't have many left here. Hopefully I have enough. Yep. Box. I'll put this down where I want it. Roughly around there will be fine. Okay. Sentiment. We're going to be using this one, which is the Merry Christmas, and we're going to put it here in the Modern Oval Punch and just center it. Lovely. And let's see, yeah, I'm going to get my sponge daubers out and going to just bring back my ink pad. I'm just going to sponge around the edges just to make it look like it has a frame. Okay, very quick and easy. I always close up my ink pads when I finish with them, not because I'm worried about, someone said to me, do they dry out very quickly? And I said no, they don't actually. But the reason I close them up every single time, as you see me doing, is so that I don't accidentally put something into them and then I'll be crying afterward. So that's the reason I do that, in case you were wondering. I'm going to put our little sentiment down there, just pop it up with some dimensionals. And then I'm going to use this Faceted Gems Trio. And I'm going to bring this out, and I think I'm going to use this one again. And I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so there are our two boxes. And you can see here, I hope you liked them. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know. And please don't forget to subscribe to future videos. If you want more information about the project, the measurements, the supply list, etc., it's all on the blog post on my website, and the links to that and all my social media links are in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.